I think everyone was surprised to see him go to the 5th round, but he's come to camp and OTAs with a great attitude. He's a hardworking guy. He has a good head on his shoulders, and he's always positive, always optimistic, always gets a smile on his face, and you like going to work with people who have that kind of attitude.
So I know when I'm a vet, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a rookie organize my locker every day before he leaves. How? Because you're not on that, so that's asking you to know that. What? Yeah, nobody hasn't been on that with you. They'll be asking you. Ultra ass. This is the thing. No. What? If Flacco told me to do this every day, I would do it. Because, bro, I real time, chat, real time. I go to him every day and I say, hey, bro, you good? You need anything? But you be like... Right hand, because it's respect. You feel me? I feel that. Ask him.
No one expected the first thunderbolt of Cleveland summer to come from Myles Garrett's mouth. The man who normally lets his pass rush do the talking stepped up to a cluster of microphones, helmet still steaming, and declared, "This kid's got the juice. You can feel it." He was talking about rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round roll of the dice who suddenly has the Browns' alpha wolf bearing his admiration. For a franchise still haunted by quarterback ghosts, Garrett's praise hit like a stadium-wide gasp. What could possibly push the league's most feared edge rusher to offer such public, unfiltered applause? Buckle up, because this story rockets from draft night disbelief to a 101-mile-per-hour scandal, and it might just upend the AFC North pecking order. Yet to grasp why Garrett's words matter, we need to rewind to the moment Sanders slipped through 31 other draft rooms. 3 days into mandatory minicamp, reporters zeroed in on Garrett, hoping for an injury update. Instead, they got a viral soundbite. "He's always upbeat," Garrett said, nodding across the field at Sanders rifling fades to the back pylon. "He dropped around 5? Well, somebody's going to regret that." The quote detonated on social media, racking up 1 million views before practice even ended. Teammates nudged each other. Garrett hardly ever praises new faces so openly. In the locker room, a defensive back whispered, "If 95 sold, the rest of us are bought." But Garrett's grin carried something deeper. Relief. After seasons of watching the defense drag brittle offenses over the finish line, he might finally share a huddle with a young arm willing to match his ferocity. Of course, this locker room romance nearly never happened, because Sanders wasn't supposed to be there at pick 167. Back to late April. Every network panel predicted Shedeur Sanders somewhere between picks 40 and 75. He'd put up video game numbers under Coach Prime at Colorado, threaded needles against USC, survived 51 sacks behind a leaky line, and flashed NFL-ready poise on Pat McAfee Live. Yet as cameras panned across draft green rooms, the names kept scrolling past his. By the time Cleveland snatched him with their 7th and final selection, analysts called it a luxury dart, a redundant swing after taking Dylan Gabriel 73 picks earlier. Vegas oddsmakers still listed Deshaun Watson and even journeyman Joe Flacco ahead of both rookies in the depth chart race. Little did they know that 5 weeks later, Sanders would hijack the headlines and Garrett's admiration. Sliding is one thing, surviving the Shark Tank quarterback room is another, and that's where Garrett's voice suddenly mattered. Inside the Berea facility, the quarterback meeting looks like an overbooked flight. Watson's guaranteed money cloud looms. Gabriel tries to digest the playbook. Flacco keeps the seat warm, and Sanders? He sits 3rd row, hood up, scribbling notes. Coaches juggle reps. But in Cleveland, hierarchy bends when the defensive captain speaks. Garrett has seen carousel chaos torpedo seasons. He sacked 4 different Browns QBs in practice last year alone. So when he tells reporters, "I just want the guy who lifts the locker room," front office ears perk up. Behind closed doors, GM Andrew Berry reportedly fielded exploratory calls about flipping a veteran arm before camp starts. The whispers grew louder after Garrett's soundbite hit primetime debate shows. If number 95 has an opinion, history suggests the organization listens. Just ask the coaches who rebuilt the defensive line to satisfy his wish list last offseason. Still, approval isn't gifted. It's earned on the grass, in front of teammates who can smell hype. Sanders needed a breakout practice stretch, and he delivered. By the second week of organized team activities, scouts agreed the rookie's film did not lie. Sanders dissected red zone periods with silky touch passes. One no-look seam ball even had receivers hooting. Garrett later admitted, "He's got that ice water calm. Makes you want to get the ball back for him." Offensive linemen noted his quick trigger shaved seconds off pass pro grades. Even skeptics conceded that Sanders' cadence already commands respect. He stares down a blitz, slides protections, then zips an out route before the safety budges. As the final OTA whistle blew, linebackers swapped the usual "good practice" fist bumps for something rarer, requests to join Sanders' late-night film sessions. Culture shift detected. Momentum was soaring until a siren lit up the Ohio night. On an otherwise quiet Tuesday, police clocked a black SUV hurtling 101 miles per hour down I-90. The driver? Shedeur Sanders. Headlines exploded. Brown's rookie cited for triple-digit speed. Cue talk radio hysteria. The ticket carried a hefty fine and a mandatory team meeting. Fans braced for the usual script of excuses. Instead, Sanders faced reporters head-on. "I messed up. No excuses, only lessons." Garrett, standing off camera, nodded approval. Later that day, he privately reminded the rookie, "Your talent talks loudest when you don't have to." The incident became a teachable blip rather than a spiraling controversy, thanks, in part, to the veteran who'd already staked his reputation on Sanders' maturity. Crisis averted, the Browns now had something rare. Rookie adversity handled with poise and a star defender doubling as hype man. But could front office chess turn hype into a franchise reset? Training table banter tells truths, box scores miss. Defensive backs gushed about Sanders' charisma. Offensive tackles praise his accountability. He buys us tacos after every padded practice. Garrett, normally reserved, joined Sanders courtside at a Cavs playoff game. Selfies flood X. Teammates are joking that they're the new miles and meters. One wreaks havoc in yards, the other with MPH arm talent. Behind laughs lies a strategic bond. Garrett's gravitas shields Sanders from typical rookie hazing, while Sanders' optimism re-energizes veterans weary of quarterback drama. The synergy feels contagious. Even special teams gunners asked to catch passes and walkthroughs just to share reps with the kid. Chemistry is priceless, but roster math is ruthless. Enter the rumor mill. Rumblings surfaced that Barry fielded calls about Dylan Gabriel and a mid-round pick, while analytic models projected cap salvation if Cleveland transitions away from Watson post-June 1, 2026. The variable none of those spreadsheets anticipated? Myles Garrett publicly lobbying for a younger, hungrier offense to complement his prime years. "I don't want to waste Sundays chasing shutouts," he quipped on a local radio hit. Insiders whispered that Garrett's sentiment accelerated internal debates. Could Sanders leapfrog the depth chart by Halloween? Could a vet be traded before week 1? The cafeteria buzzed, beat writers hovered. One thing felt certain. Garrett's supportive megaphone had moved Sanders from project to priority. While executives crunched numbers, the city's fan base ignited into hopeful frenzy. Footage of Sanders dropping a 60-yard dime in 7-on-7s blew up on TikTok. 2 million views overnight. Jersey pre-orders spiked 180%. On Reddit, a meme of Garrett in gladiator armor escorting Sanders through the Coliseum drew 12K upvotes in 6 hours. Even skeptics noted the tonal shift. Browns fans discussing potential instead of pain. Local sponsors sniffed opportunity. Billboards teased Shedeur's show coming soon. The city hadn't felt this buzzing since the Guardians' 2024 pennant chase. And perched above it all, Garrett watched his words echo from field to fan base in real time. Buzz is intoxicating, but legacies are forged on game days. As training camp looms, a simple question hangs in the humid Ohio air. The defensive superstar's endorsement can echo louder than a primetime touchdown, and Myles Garrett just placed his stamp on Shedeur Sanders' future before the rookie's first preseason snap. Maybe Sanders will seize QB1 by Thanksgiving. Maybe he'll sit, absorb, and wait for 2026. Either way, the Browns' locker room has already shifted. Because when a man who mauls left tackles for a living smiles at a quarterback, hope stops feeling hypothetical. It feels inevitable. Down the road, historians might ask why Cleveland's fortunes flipped. They'll rewind the tape to a June afternoon, catch Garrett's quiet grin, and realize the moment a dynasty's first domino fell. Ready or not, Browns Nation, the clock is ticking toward a new era, and Myles Garrett just rang the opening bell.